Tamam. Anyone else? You're saying? Yes.
You saw it last night, and you were saying that in the understanding of generosity, that when you talk about it from the money perspective or giving money, it's the lowest understanding, that there's other forms of generosity. I wanted to understand because after the khutbah last week, you mentioned about what it is to be a fakir, and that common understanding that we have is, let's say, means-wise being poor. Is there another understanding of that?
In fact, last Juma, when I gave the topic about the fakir, I expanded it a little bit. I mentioned, but I covered everything. Anyone remember? Okay, let me try to jog your memory. I mentioned a particular person, a particular Sahabi, who gave everything in the way. Thank you. Who? Hz Abu Bakr Siddiq. Yet, and I covered everything because I said, when the Holy Prophet ﷺ, seeing him coming with nothing, he even gave his clothes, and at that time he was wearing a palm fronds as a skirt around, covering himself like that, and he was smiling so big that his teeth were showing the Prophet ﷺ, laughing, saying, Ya Abu Bakr, today in your honor, all the angels in paradises are wearing date leaves around their waist. In your honor, because you're dressing like that. And asking, what did you give? What did you leave then? Your wives and your family and your sons and your children. And his answer was, I leave them Allah and His Prophet ﷺ. They're not things, right? You cannot say Allah and His Prophet is not the same level as wealth. It's something else. It's that love. It is that faith. Yes, I've said this before. Our Shaykh said, you know, regular people, everyone should ask for Jannat, of course. They're aiming for that. But when we're following the friends of Allah, we're not. Our Jannat is where they are, and they are with Allah. So our return is to Allah. And Sheikh Effendi said once, I said, in my dream, I says, all the Jannat that I have, I gave it to my grandmother because she is in need. Now he says, I don't even have Jannat. I have nothing. Then I said, that is a fakir. That is a fakir. When he becomes nothing, when he gives everything, and he doesn't own anything, but everything now is looking to him as his master, as the sultan. Just like that friend of Allah who turned away from being that great sultan, Ibrahim ibn Adham, running to find Allah, to find the Shaykh who told him, who woke him up. And he was a righteous, holy king. And that saint said to him, you cannot find Allah surrounded by all this that you are busy with, even if you're good. That's when he left everything. He left his wife that was pregnant with his son. And he left and he took out all his clothes, kingly clothes, and he started to wear torn clothes. And that was when he was by the sea, sewing his clothes, and his general came with all the troops and saying, oh, look at this, what a shame. This is our sultan that we used to love and we used to respect so much. With all his haybat, it is gone. Everything is gone. Look at him. He looks like a miskin, like a fakir, sewing his clothes by the sea. He lost his mind. And that's when Ibrahim ibn Adham then took the needle and threw it into the ocean. And then he gave a command. This is to show the general, saying to the creatures of the sea, bring me back my needle. And they all came, and they all in their mouth brought back a pearl and jewels and emeralds, everything that sings the gold. And says, no, bring me back my needle. They came down again, they came up. And everyone had golden and silver needles. He says, no, the needle that I was using. They went down again, and one came in the mouth, gave it to him. And all these military, high-level people looking, and they were shocked. And that Sultan, Ibrahim ibn Adham, then took that needle and said, I was a sultan before, but in reality, I did not have any power. I was a slave. And now, I am a slave to him. And with that, I became the sultan of everything, don't you see? These are real. Take it any way you want. So many, this is endless. Fakir means not to own anything. Not to own your attitude, not to own your opinions. You just give. And what you're giving in this situation, it's only your bad things, so that you become good. That's hard enough. Most people don't want to give up their bad characteristics. But what if we say, now, the goodness that has been given to you, now you have to give that too. Our aim is to be nothing. As Shaykh Maulana says, as long as you're declaring yourself that you are something, your ego is going to trick you. So that training of to be nothing is very difficult. But that is the training of our sheikhs. And we have to learn, we have to understand, even if we cannot do that, it is maybe impossible for us to do that. But as long as we are fighting, one day they make it very easy. One day, like I said before, they remove the veils. Because you are being steadfast. You are being stubborn in the good way. So, yes, it's not just the money, it's everything else. Some people, they cannot even be generous in smiles. They cannot be generous in good wishes. They cannot be generous in being cheerful. They're very stingy. They don't share. Only bad things they share. Allah make us to become more generous, inshallah. May Allah not test us. But with what we are given, the good things, may we have the power to share. And with the wrong things, we ask Allah to take it away from us. And to bring more sincere people. And for us to carry this work properly, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.